Good afternoon. And welcome to everyone who's joining us on the internet as well. Jingle bells and Yule logs and shopping. Merry Christmas. Make a decision. Let it be a wonderful time for you. It's your choice where you're going to give your attention and how you're going to fuel your activity. You can either do it with a great sense of obligation and a great fervent intent to accomplish everything you intend to accomplish, and you can buy the groceries and cook with a vengeance. A little bit angry because of all the work it's going to be for you, and perhaps how unreasonable it is for it to all end up on your shoulders. Or no matter how you might be able to define what's happening, you can withdraw from the outer circumstances and get in touch with your love. And you can let everything you do become a gift because you are choosing to give it. And it doesn't matter how it's received. It matters that it's given. And it matters that you engage in extending something and making the extension clean. Do you get it? Don't wrap it up in ribbons of obligation and ribbons of potential guilt for others. Don't wrap it up in getting even. Wrap it up with love. Do it clean. Why? Because it makes a difference, for one thing, for everyone else. But more than anything, it causes you to be in harmony with your function, with your real nature, with your purpose. Now, this is a time of year when many choose to remember my birth. But I want to direct you all to another birth. Yours. It's not so far in the distant past as mine. And I want to point out to you that no matter what the manger looked like that you were born in, it was the appearing of the Christ. It was the coming into view of the Christ. Now, many of you look at my birth and say, a holy event. Yours was just as holy. But you don't tend to honor your birth that way, nor do you tend to recognize that you are the Christ also. And that your coming to view meant that you were here to embody in the world what you are. But as it goes, your parents had forgotten who they were, and the obstetrician and the nurses had forgotten who they were, and your school teachers had forgotten who they were, and likewise thought poorly, or not importantly, if I may put it that way, about their births. And so you got a lot of encouragement to forget who you were and why you're here. Well, I'm here to remind you. And the first time I came here to remind you. It wasn't about me, it was about you. And so you do find me constantly reminding you of your divinity, reminding you that you are the Christ, reminding you that deep within yourself is a place of excellence, which you need to be giving more attention to than all these surface, reactive, authoritative, ego-centered thoughts you have about yourself. Why? Well, why not? Are you all happy? Is life a breeze? Is life bliss? Not at the moment the way you're experiencing it. I mean, it's not bliss. It's not uninterrupted joy. It isn't invariable or unvarying freedom. It's a struggle to one degree or another. And that is not the way it's supposed to be. That is not your birthright. But as long as you have forgotten what it was that happened the night of your birth, you don't even look for the excellence in you. And conversely, you don't look for it in your brother and sister either. You're quite clear that none of them are the Christ, that's for sure. And that's what you teach. You teach everyone that they're not the Christ. And you teach that you're not. You're teaching lies, but that is what you're teaching. The birth of the Christ, the coming into view of the presence of God, is transforming. That means that your presence is a transforming presence right now because of what you really are. It's a healing presence. There is holiness in your presence. And there is holiness in the presence of your brothers and sisters. And I'm here to remind you to be willing to abandon your very definite opinions about who you are and who your brothers and sisters are, because they get in the way of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. They get in the way of your bliss. They get in the way of your peace. They get in the way of your joy. And they get in the way of the transformation of the world, which, when it happens, will cause you to say joy to the world. Because not only are you willing to embrace the idea that maybe you are the Christ and get down to the business of actually embodying it, you will find yourself willing to look at the world and say, maybe this is really more than I think it is. Maybe this is what Raj has been saying it is. Maybe it is the kingdom of heaven, which I'm seeing through a glass darkly because I'm looking at it through my opinions about what it is and my very definite convictions as to what it is. And so you blind yourself to being the presence of God, to being the Christ, and witnessing to the kingdom of heaven every day. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't need to be. I'm encouraging all of you to be radical thinkers, if you will. To think outside of the box. To let ideas register with you that are outside of the box of your definitions and everyone else's definitions about what everything is. You don't feel good when you're denying what you are. But feeling good is your birthright. And that's what I want for you. And so that's what I point you in the direction of. You're more than just a hunk of matter. You're more than just the effect of a sperm and a seed. An egg. They were just forms that served to identify your coming into view. This divine one that you are. That came here to be the divine one that you are, to be the full embodiment of it. And illuminate the kingdom of heaven again, right where it has been in your face. This is wonderful news. And this is the truth. And so, at this Christmas season, take the opportunity to remember your birth. My manger was in the middle of a secular, political, religious world just like today. I mean, I wasn't born in a church. And the world didn't notice. And you weren't born in a church and the world didn't notice. Big deal. It doesn't mean that you're not the Christ, and it doesn't mean that you're not here to embody all of the excellence of God that you are the presence of. If you wish to think outside the box a little bit, you'll realize that that being is a divine adventure for you. And I encourage you to explore embodying your divinity. And I encourage you to explore acknowledging the divinity of others. I don't mean that you go into the grocery store and say, "You're the daughter of God." and start spewing out a whole lot of religious text and words and thoughts. When you smile at somebody, and in your mind, you are remembering that no matter what seems to be going on, here is God embodied. Your smile means something. And if the clerk in Macy's or Target is short with you, and you're full of the joy of recognizing that their behavior isn't them, that it's the effect of stress, that it's not their birthright to be experiencing, and you have compassion on the divine one that they are, and your focus is there, your response to them will be entirely different than if you're equally stressed. And if you're not recognizing the excellence in you, or the joy in you, and therefore the excellence in them, your response will be entirely different. The one that comes from compassion and joy in you, even though it doesn't include a single holy word, will bless and transform. Because it won't be expected. And it will be reassuring. Let everything you do this season be with love. Whether you're shopping, whether you're parking your car, whether you're waiting for someone to get out of the way in front of you, whether the traffic is backed up, whether the clock is ticking and you're late. You don't have to become reactive. Sit there and wait with love. Be patient with love. So, this is our birthday season, isn't it? Remember that. And don't gripe because you have to be the Christ in a secular, political, religious world that's full of friction. You don't got no other field to work in, to be in. But you are here to transform it, as is everyone else. And don't say, well, they're getting away with not having to do it. And a lot of them seem to be doing pretty well. I'm sorry, they're not happy. They're not experiencing bliss. Maybe there's a lot of ego satisfaction that they can express about their lives, but they don't know who they are. Yet. And if no one provides them with an alternative, an example, they're going to stay lost. So now I've pointed out to you that your birth was the birth of the Christ, and that you have a natural divine function to fulfill. Please, don't enjoy the thought for a few days and then bury it out of sight. Let your light shine. Let it shine because that's your function. And when you let your function be embodied, your whole being will be filled with light. And you will feel the joy. And you will experience transformation and transfiguration for yourself and in the world. Does this sound like a Christmas sermon? Well, let me put it this way, it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. And I mean what I say. And therefore what I say is the truth. And you can dare to let it in, like breathing, and let it out, like breathing. Let it in and extend it. Breathe it in and let your excellence find expression in actions and words in your world. And let it in and let it out as an acknowledgement of the divinity of your brothers, because you're so sick and tired of the stress and strain of friction and hard feelings and misunderstanding, and you want something better, and you realize that the only thing that's going to make it better is you being better, being in a new way, really embodying it. Now, I could be like a Bible-thumping preacher and stand up and rant and rave and yell and cajole you and push you verbally with my tone of voice and my words into a rev, into a fervor. But you know what? That tends to wear off very quickly. And however much closer, I know that's not good English, however much closer you get to embodying the Christ that you are, no matter how slowly it occurs, again, however much closer you get to embodying the Christ, it is better if you get closer to it because someone has gently told you the truth, so that you can, in a very grounded way, not with a lot of emotional fervor, choose to be what you are. Because your steps then will be sure, and you won't backslide as easily. And that's why I speak gently. And that's why I connect with everything that is reasonable within you, calmly reasonable within you. So that your steps may be sure, solid, firm, and forward moving. I tell you the truth about you, as though the truth about you is natural to you, because it is. And I want you to become aware of it as though it's natural. Not as though you're engaging in some sort of big achievement of something that is unnatural to you, but you can do it. No. I'm sorry, being my brother or my sister is something you can't help. And therefore, your nature and character and individuality is no different from mine, and there's nothing you can do about that either. And so I'm going to talk to you straight and simple and matter-of-factly about it, so that you approach it, I'm going to say intelligently, reasonably. Oh my God, you mean that there in Liberty Hospital on May 27th, 1962, the Christ was born and I just thought it was me? Oh my God. Except, oh my God, is an expression of fear, not an expression of joyous acknowledgement, because now you've got to be the Christ. Which you think is utterly unnatural, very foreign to you. And you create a picture of impossibility around your being able to be something you can't help being, something that you already are, but something which you simply haven't believed you were, because life and your teachers and your parents and friends have all convinced you otherwise. What you've been convinced of isn't true. Therefore, it's a belief, and has only the strength of the faith you bring to that belief and commitment that you bring to that belief. I'm telling you the truth about you so that you might open up to it. And that is not a matter of my giving you a new belief to hang on to, because the truth about you is the truth about you whether you're indulging in beliefs or not. And it has nothing to do with beliefs. If you all knew how beautiful you are, right here, right now, right today, you are illuminated with the light of God. Right here in this room. The Christ sees God in everything. The Christ that you are is innately able to see God in everything. Again and again and again, I say, be curious to see the more of everything that is present than what you're currently seeing. That is what the Christ does. What you divinely are looks for what's real in each and everything. Always. It looks for God. It's devoted to seeing nothing else. It's committed to seeing nothing other than the purpose of capital B being that has been set into motion, as it were, or embodied as each and everything. The divine event that each and everything is. Now, it's hard and unpleasant work to see the worst in everything and the worst in everyone. And the hardest work of all is for you to see the worst in yourself and remain committed to uncovering it and holding it up in front of your face so that you can feel dutifully and appropriately, constantly guilty. That's hard work, I promise you. But that you call normal.